Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Excellency Light League. We're bringing you ReDefy Unleash versus Darkside Academy. Now, if you're just joining us here, Darkside Academy came through with such an aggressive early game, but ReDefy, playing off an incredible wombo combo comp with Breezy's Olaf, took game one in an incredibly strong fashion. I am your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, joined by the lovely Coach Cubby as my color.
Coach Cubby. Thank you.
Hey, it sounds good.
I like it. It's good.
Sorry.
I like the nickname. I'll take a nickname. I want to start off with saying DSA banned out Olaf. And that is the best call they could make. Not only because, one, it helps with the emotional recovery of just saying we're going to take that off the table. Let's just go fresh into this game, not risk them getting the same thing. But it was a amazing pick, so it is an amazing ban. Graves and Senna, pretty, stationary bans right now. We like to see it. Swain, Lucian, Kaisa, same way.
All the same.
Traditional bans. These aren't necessarily target bans outside of Olaf. This is just cannot let through bans. Except Seraphine got to get first picked, and we saw how Seraphine fit that comp last time and 2 games ago in our last set. Seraphine is insane to let go through.
Right. And it's the pump of damage combined with the massive charm that is provided through such safety that enables everyone across the board. Now, notably, we are seeing a major switch in terms of who gets what here. Now, Galio, Malphite, same places they were, or actually, I'm losing my brain here. Galio is the same for Darkside, but Malphite has switched as well as Seraphine. They've traded that over versus ReDefy now picking up the Misfortune to pair with an equally strong Leona.
Yeah, hey, if you just got beat by something, why not run it yourself? If they're going to run Seraphine and Malphite, why not complement it? I think the Galio mid is a little bit risky. Last time, Seraphine Malphite was comboed with an Orianna, who is a lot better. Galio is a little bit riskier. He needs to come in with the ultimate after a 2, 3, 4 second, depending on his distance, channel time. He shows up, it's not nearly as much damage, but he does have more CC, so if we're going to run a heavy damage jungler, a heavy damage AD carry with this, it's going to work wonders. But Kai'Sa's banned out, Lucian's banned out, and Misfortune got picked. You can grab Jhin, but it didn't work for you last game. It's not really the burst that you want with a team comp like this compared to a bullet time, let alone you have Leona and Sylas combo with a Misfortune. Malphite and Galio and Seraphine just get their ults jacked and can easily get turned against you, especially if you're playing Jhin. That backline safety is not enough distance from the enemy team anymore.
Right. Now, at this point, I just want to confirm that last ban that came through there from ReDefy is actually a Skarner. Bit of an interesting ban. You don't usually see that one come through, but Darkside can play through with it at times. The Katarina, once again, picked out again as something a bit more topical. And then the Wukong Hecarim. The Wukong this time being pulled away from Darkside as they felt it might have been too good. And we're going to see a complete different set of junglers. But ReDefy runs back again with the Orianna.
Yeah, so that's going to have to be a Sylas top or jungle pick because they're rocking the Orianna mid. I'm assuming they're going to go Sylas. It's jungle?
I swear it's jungle. I mean, I'll bet against you. I think it's jungle. Let me tell you.
I think they're going to slap that Sylas top lane and put him against Malphite. So when Malphite teleports down, he grabs the unstoppable force, teleports down with him. He has way more AP and he outfights him.
I would actually love to see that. That'd be really cool. I didn't think of it like that. I just thought Sylas, very aggressive, very go hoo hoo hee hee breeze. That sounds just like it's up his alley. Sylas hoo hoo hee hee. We're going to see on this last pick, of course. But Aurelia pushed into that mid, something I think is a little bit stable, but can be a bit risky, especially if you look at how that comp wants to play in Kindred, of all things.
Kindred on the 8A...
AD
carry. Who's the AD carry?
I swear, if that's Aurelia ADC, I've seen Kindred ADC at this point. That's nothing new to me.
Well, yeah, but then who's jungle?
It can't be Aurelia, right? So is that Aurelia AD carry in the bot lane?
Okay, so this now...
I think it is.
is a very odd flip where ReDefy said in the interview, we are the meta breakers. We drift from the meta. We play weird comps.
No.
Darkside Academy now has the abstract comp, has the really weird. Galio's capable of jungling. It's not bad. That would put Malphite top, Irelia mid, Kindred and Seraphine bottom lane. I would love a comp like that, but you can get really out jungled by either Sylas or Poppy if you're running a Galio jungle. And same way, if it is Sylas jungle, he just grabs Galio's ultimate and says, hey, you're going to gank. I'll gank right there with you, buddy. So definitely a very odd draft. I can see it working for him. They have the damage on Aurelian Kindred to complement Malphite. Could flex Malphite mid full AP too.
Well, let's not even look at the comp just to begin with. Let's take these lanes. I'm assuming Aurelia's going to be down bot with Seraphine. I don't see Galio pairing through down there. It'd be very odd. I think it'd be the safest take because I think Galio would actually be able to contest that mini wave. But if Aurelia does go down there with Seraphine, she's going to be playing into Misfortune and Leona's hands the entire time. That wave she aggresses on, she's going to be right in top exactly where Leona wants her, and that's not something you want to be if you're Darkside. And
yeah,
by the
definitely.
way, Breezy's playing Sylas. I told you so.
All right. I don't know what the bet is, but I lost.
Boy.
I'm a man of my honor. I think I'll still say I like that drafting style more, but ReDefy knows what they're doing.
Okay, I like this better. I like Wizword on Galio, all right? Because to me, Irelia on that bot lane would be playing too much into Leona's hand, like I said, and she'd always be caught out at a certain point, and I think Galio has that safety, but at the same time, duo AP bot lane...
Into a Leona. Leona Misfortune. If they're able to catch the Galio out and he doesn't have his E, he doesn't have any way to get out of the make it rain. He's just stuck in there. And Leona's Q is a 1 second stun on a 4 second cooldown. So he's going to get Zenith Blade. He's going to get stunned. Make it rain for the slow. Stunned again. Zenith Bladed. Stunned all before his E comes back up. So if he plays this lane wrong, it can be very, very heavily backfiring. If he plays it right, they can ignore the heavy aggressive lane from Misfortune Leona. So I think it's going to come down to wave management more than anything for this bottom lane.
You tell me who can control wave a lot better. An extra range Misfortune?
It's Seraphine, 80 carry.
AP carry at this point.
Well, AP carry, yeah. AP. She's not going to build AD, but in the AD carry role. Well,
right,
I think we've all been duped.
I've been duped this entire night at this point. I'm sick of it.
We have all been successfully duped here. I think Darkside Academy just said, "Hey, let's throw these casters for a whirl here." Sylas and Poppy was an interchangeable pick in that drafting phase. They could have flexed either jungle or top. So I think it was a strong draft, but Sylas in the jungle works pretty well. It's going to be pretty hard with, Kindred, Seraphine, Galio, Malphite, all these key ultimates for Sylas to hijack can turn it against them. If Kindred pops an ultimate, everybody's immune in it, they're all at full health, and Sylas's team is at low health. He can take the ultimate back again and say, hey, here's another 3 seconds of invincibility so we can try and turn this around. Same thing for stalling out Barons, stalling out Drakes. There's a lot of options for that double cast. Galio, you can just steal that. And Seraphine, Malphite, turn the fights against them. So...
Well, one thing you bring that up, I'm really interested to see how it plays out, because the hijack is something that you usually don't expect, but Breezy, as a very, very aggressive jungler from what we saw in game one, I'm curious where he tends to spend most of his time at this point to play off of those ultimates, because he doesn't have that advantage like you tried to bring up, but that teleport he can maybe play around if he was on that top side. So the choice selection of what he utilizes is going to be completely based off of where he really truly is. Now, I'm interested to see just as much as you how many times we get to see that double cast come through and play in their favor, or maybe not. But it's not as perfect as the, throw the unstoppable force, come teleport pre-bot lane, AP damage, which it still has the chance. It's still going to happen at some point. He's going to take Padawan's ult, but it's not quite as set in stone.
Yeah, Padawan with the unstoppable force. Padawan with the force. joke.
All right. That's enough bad jokes from all of you tonight. I'm sick of it.
He can very heavily turn the fight. I think it's really going to be on Padawan this game to really dictate how these fights go, because
I agree.
Irelia can go in, but you got a Poppy. You know, you have Leona. So you kind of just play into their hands when you dive in. Kindred and Seraphine aren't. Galio's support, so he's not half as tanky. He's not going to have a rocket belt this game to get in like he did last time. So I think they're going to be putting all of this pressure on Malphite to collapse these fights. And Poppy's ultimate just disengage the Kindred, Irelia, Seraphine out of Kindred's own ultimate. You know, Silas can jack it, use it. Kindred could use her own. Poppy just goes, all right, you're all outside of the invincibility. Enjoy that. It's our invincibility now if they try and clap. So this is very, very selective fighting that you're going to want to take for DSA.
Yeah. Darkside, they're definitely putting themselves into a bit of a rut. I can see how these combos might work out for them. They definitely have the potential to pull off the Wombo and have that safety of the Kindred. But I'm really curious how the early game works out for them, because personally, you know, I don't see Seraph and Galio really coming out on top against Misfortune Leona. Irelia, while is strong, does not serve as much of an aggressive potential, especially in the eyes of the comp whole, compared to Rowan and once again on the Orianna, which we've proven already is very, very safe. So at this point, I want to see that first 10 minutes to a little bit more safe for Darkside, and we might just see just that, Bubby. So all that being said, we're going to be taking it to a little bit of a break as we make our way towards the second and final game of this set. We'll be right back with ReDefy Unleashed versus Darkside Academy. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Excellency Light League. If you're just joining us, we're bringing you ReDefy Unleashed versus Darkside Academy. ReDefy come out of an impressive game one, playing off their Wamos and the strength of Breezy Bay on his Olaf. Now we're about to see if they're going to clean it up in a 2-0 or maybe be punished by Darkside Academy and bring it to a 1-1. I'm your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, joined by the lovely Coach Bubby as my color.
Yeah, thank you. Breezy Bay on the Silas is a very mind-boggling pick. I'm having a little bit of a
crisis. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
A difficult time really deciding exactly what he wants. I can tell you, he doesn't want to grab Irelia's ult. Maybe
Lambs or fight could
if
be
they're super far ahead, but I cannot see a reason to ever grab Irelia over Seraphine or Malphite. And then if you want to play defensive, you have Kindred and Galio. So we saw Breezy Bay just play this out of his mind game on Olaf last game. He picks up I would say much more complicated, much harder. You don't just press R and cleanse CC on you and run people down. You know, Olaf, it's a very tactical Silas, a lot more mechanics, a lot more decision making.
Right.
And it could shine through, but it could also backfire really hard if played improperly.
Right. I will say we have seen success from different Silences in the jungle before. If you go look at mid league, if you want to check out that Bucky's Stratosphere, they've got a player by the name of Array, and he plays a really nasty Silas. And while it doesn't always work out, he consistently goes 4-0 in the early game. So I think, you know, Breezy, he's shown that he's aggressive. He's shown that he has the potential to make things work. He could be just as strong in that respect. So we'll watch. We'll wait and see. I really want to compare it to the Olaf last game, though. That's my main concern.
Yeah, and definitely a very big comparison we'll see as he tries to take a fight on adrenaline.
Yeah, finds his way straight on a Kindred there. Going to use that blast cone, but the flash falls over the wall, smites the buff to heal up. No one's going down today. Mind you, Naro is in a really great spot to follow through there. Meanwhile, Ronin's catching that wave. Could go lopsided if things go wrong.
Yeah, with Amethyst and Lemon Soda possibly getting caught out here, but
that's a big flash from Pub. That's a great engage if the Xenoblade, but the double taunt there on a Breezy. Lemon Soda now disengages. Amethyst and Breezy Bow are taking that fight against Bub. Ronin finally arriving here, trying to dash it out as Naro goes for the big flash with that ignite as Lemon finally dies. First blood finding its way over Naro. Now Breezy Bay over the wall with the flash. Wizward's over as well, and that's a double now for Naro. Pub steps up, but not before we see the return from Amethyst onto Adrenaline. Either way, 3 kills on the early aggressive Darkside.
Darkside said they're extremely aggressive. We saw it last game. It backfired on Shen. It certainly did not backfire this game, playing it into this middle and bottom side. Yeah. You would think Leona Misfortune would have the massive dominance here, but they put themselves in the river at a really awkward angle. They got themselves pinched out, and we kind of saw what the Seraphine Galio is for, the chain CC. They don't have ultimates yet, but he uses his Justice Charge. He goes in, combo with the Seraphine Snare. You allow Irelia and Kindred to do as much damage as they want, and that it's a lot of damage between them, which we didn't have on their comp last time. We do have this time, so that play is working now.
Right. I can see how later on, once the Onkar and Heroes entrance come through, if you have someone aggressive like Padawan or Adrenaline going deep, the follow-up would be absurd in terms of the CC. So Darkside, like we said, bit different this time around. They still got like 6 to 10 minutes on their belt here to keep proving that they're going to sustain this early lead. But 2K in the bag with 2 of those ending up on a Naro, I mean, that's great. That's one of the supreme carries you want to see succeed. It may not work completely into the comp. We discussed that Poppy earlier, but it's still something great to get on top of guys like Amethyst.
Yeah, Inaro taking a lot more aggressive of a play here. He was aggressive on Galio, but it's quite a bit different when you're playing an Irelia and you're 2-0 this game. 27 CS to 6 on Orianna right now. Oh man, is this a big difference here, even having red buff.
Look at that. And he's, oh wow, Ronin's actually able to really aggress and push back on him for going in deep there off that stun. Mind you, he did run straight into wave there, but you know, he's got time. He's 5 minutes. Forced to back here soon? I'm curious. I don't want him to let that wave just sit.
Yeah, the problem is that Orianna is getting these really good trades back against Irelia, but Irelia is starting the trade by stacking up her Ionian Fervor on the minions while last hitting them with Blade Surge. She's getting the CS, then she's fighting Ronan. Ronan is using his Q and W to trade back against Inaru outside of the wave, then losing all the mana to farm the minions being shoved under his turret.
Now, either way, Ronan is at a huge deficit here at this point. I mean, it's crazy. 5 minutes, 5 waves, pretty much missed out with the 2-kill lead. I mean, we haven't seen the back officially come through from Inaro off of those 2 kills yet. He actually is just as strong as any old Irelia at this point.
Yeah, bottom lane, getting the kill on Misfortune is a big deal. I know it was a 3-for-1 trade, but if you're really trying to play a strong bottom side like Misfortune Leona, if Irelia is not roaming bottom side and they can win these fights with that gold advantage, they can turn it around. Irelia is just picking fights in mid lane, but Ronan, as we saw last game, is just such a safe player. It's really difficult. Sylas jungle just gets out sustained by Kindred, so it's hard for him to gank when he's constantly at half health when clearing camps. So Breezy Bay is going to kind of have to play at bay for a while now until he's able to get a healthier clear.
It might be a while too. Sylas isn't really known for that type of thing, especially without a pretty much completed item on his belt. I will say though, we did not discuss Wizward and Pubcox having this level of sustain on their belt. It feels like they have great disengage with the chain CC that you brought up earlier, but at the same time, they can sit in this wave playing off of Wizworld. And to be honest, Amethyst throwing out the poke, whether it be the bouncing bullet or the rain, doesn't matter in the long run. They just stay here. Wizward hasn't even come through on that back completely yet.
He's winning in CS.
Still absorbing CS.
Yeah, 45 CS on Seraphine to 43 on Misfortune when you should just be zoning them out so hard. She's got the Bandle Glass mirror, so really high mana regen, ability haste, some AP helping her last hit, being able to get the gold, getting that Moonstone Renewal, possibly Imperial Mandate really early on to funnel into this Kindred is going to be huge. And Misfortune Leona not shutting it down, not really getting a big lead is going to be tough, but same way we did last game.
Good stun there. Inara's going to throw out the Vanguard's Edge, and Breezy, he can't even move. He could not even move out of that one. That is absurd.
Yeah, his only option was to go back in, and going back in to heal just gets him killed. So maybe he could have done some kind of shenanigans where he, chains over to wolves, smites them, slows Irelia and runs away. But he's in a really bad spot there, being counter juggled not once, not twice, but 3 times now by Irelia.
Right, and
Kindred's only coming to his jungle twice.
Too, Sylas is definitely a bit more mechanically intensive compared to the Olaf. Olaf's very simple, and he had the team to play off him last time. At this point, Breezy is alone more than anything, and at the same time, to get an official Sylas kind of success, you definitely need to be way more involved. And when you're at the hands of basically a 2-0 Irelia coming off a huge back of, Vampiric Scepter and a pickaxe, doesn't smell like victory.
Yeah, he picks up an Hextech Alternator, probably going towards a Night Harvester. The passive on it...
Whoa. No way. That's just freaking bullying at this point. Padawan deep in that jungle, just punishing this man. They saw what the success here of ReDefy was last game, and they have learned, Bubby. They have learned. Danny, good use on the keeper's verdict to make sure that wasn't going down anytime soon.
Yeah, a little misclick on the blast plant there forces him to have to use his ultimate. So
my God,
I don't think he really needs it for anything else. But 4 people are playing topside right now, knowing Poppy doesn't have ult. This should be a pretty free Rift Herald for them due to that little mishap. Even having teleport, it's not really enough. Like you said, it's pretty much bullying. Sylas is running a very weak early game. Going for that Hextech Alternator, it only triggers on champions. So as far as an item goes, it's only 40 AP for his clear. It doesn't give him any mana. It doesn't give him anything else. Yeah. If he dies again after getting this blue, he's back to having absolute no sustain in this jungle. He's 0-3. Same CS as Kindred, surprisingly. So kudos to him for that. But he was the carry. They said, we're not going to get you on a carry this game. Have the Silas, try and hijack our ultimates, go for it. But it doesn't matter if you take the unstoppable force, the encore, the hero's entrance. If you're 0 and 5, if you have no items, if you have no levels, whatever, you can have it then. And that seems like that's their play style right now, and it's working pretty strongly for them.
Yeah, and good moves from the side of Darkside here, be it Padawan or Inaro, not playing entirely around Adrenaline, making good use. Danny Phantom here doing a fantastic job on the punishment there of Padawan, taking advantage of the early damage built off of himself there. Oh, Breezy. Big steal on the Galio's heroic entrance there. Curious if he's going to hijack and actually make use of that. There's the Zenith Blade into the stun. Anchors with the rain. Good charm off that Encore. Hero's entrance utilized to get him out of this one. Oh, big taunt on Breezy Bay there under turret. He's going to heal it up in response. There's the heals. Well, but ooh, Wizward with the response finds that kill either way. Mind you, also, Inaro did find that kill under turret onto Ronin earlier.
Without flash, yeah.
Without flash, and oh, there's the unstoppable force. Double flash there. Expended as Amathos is over the wall. Now Lemon Soda looking pretty poor. Can be running away from that one. Meanwhile, Danny Phantom punished out with the additional range there from Adrenaline. Flashes forward there. Going to get the additional passive stacks going. There's the chunk and charge. Finds the kill. 3 kills over the course of the map there for the side of Darkside.
Yeah, that's a strong play mid, a strong play bot, and a strong play top, all within 45 seconds. Beautiful. Yeah, Kindred gets a kill top, getting one of her hunters mark. You get Irelia just solo diving Ronin, which didn't work last game for Inaro. This game, he's done it twice. Give it another minute, he might do it a third time, even killing Breezy Bay in his own jungle instead of running away from him all game as a tank. Bottom side, you have weak side.
That's a huge teleport. No, Wizward's dead. Okay. Either way, teleport aside, it doesn't matter. Your Poppy can be in the bot lane because Adrenaline just got the tower for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a teleport bot for a kill on the Seraphine support, in the AP carry role, who went Moonstone Boots of Ionia. So, Ionia Boots of Lucidity. It's a play. It gets some gold on the board. It goes to Misfortune, so that's something. But
oh, come on. Good shockwave, but it's not going to stop him like it was last time on the Galio. Even Turret can't find the kill there. Oh, it's got to hurt. It brings to question, Bubby. They brought up to us when we interviewed him, our strength is within Breezy, how he plays around the team, enables us across the board. He hasn't had the opportunity the entire game. And, Ronin, who's good at playing weak side, is definitely getting punished because of some of those early kills on Naro. I'm curious how much of this team's identity really revolves around Breezy, and that's something to look for in future games. Because at this point, it's dire.
Yeah, they said Ronin's a strong carry too, but you got a 0 and 3 Orianna that can't hold mid lane, and you have a jungler that can't help you. I guarantee if Breezy Bay tried to gank at this point on Naru, I really would just get a double kill. So there's no shutting her down. She's not the greatest pick as far as fighting into their comp, but when she can just do whatever she wants solo, it's really hard to get anything going when her split pressure is so massive across the board.
Right, and they throw Poppy in that mid lane maybe to soak up some of that damage. They feel like it might fend off much better there, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see the rotation anytime soon.
Yeah, I want to make one shout out to this Irelia taking Ignite. That's kind of the redemption for this Orianna having a teleport advantage. If she gets later in the game, can get a Zonia's, maybe get some shutdown on this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Oh, good flash. But the flash follow-up under turret there. Breezy, that was a little bit kind of ego on that one. Oh, good bullet time response. Lambs or Spike coming out very early into the Charmed Encore. Adrenaline finds that kill. Now they turn their attention to Lemon Soda. He can't make it out. A double kill for Adrenaline.
Well, we talked a lot about how interesting the team comp is, how strong ReDefy's team comp is. You have the Silas to make all these things happen, Orianna to lock it down, Poppy to turn these fights around, but before they've grouped, before they've gotten their team comp activated, they're not really making any progressive plays anywhere. They're dying in their lanes so low, even losing with a numbers advantage 1 point, shutting down Breezy Bay, their best player. It's backfiring very hard trying to play into this early game when they don't have the early game.
Right. No early game in their favor, and they find themselves back up against the wall, and they almost found a little pressure there onto Papa Cox, but sadly didn't quite come through. At least they're able to secure that blue buff back over a ways to Breezy Bay here. My gosh, things have got to change if we want to see ReDefy find their way back into it. They have a great comp, they just can't play around it, and Breezy Bay's punished for trying to double take camps there to catch up.
He didn't see the teleport.
Phantom comes through there. Good shockwave response. Pubcox as well, taken through. Finally, Bubby. ReDefy Unleashed find the double kill there off of that great Telltale.
Yeah, Malphite with ultimate watch the Orianna teleport right in front of his face while he's attacking her turret. He didn't stop it. He watched her teleport.
And that shockwave then went on to secure some additional CC that, of course, stopped Inaro from really rushing it down any much further. Granted, it was like a 4v2, and you really shouldn't lose those at this point. But either way, still great to secure it. I mean, that is a base.
Yeah, that is a massive turnaround. That is the 5-kill Irelia shutdown coming out. Orianna picks up a kill. Yeah, and Orianna picks up a kill.
Shutdown. That's
Amethyst gets the shutdown with the huge team comp centered around her, being the only one doing anything. You know, all this setup for these great bullet times. She gets the item, so she's very fed now. She's got Finish Kraken Slayer and boots. You know, it's not as much as Irelia, but it's still maybe enough. A huge mistake for really the first time this game from Padawan, just completely biffing. He didn't have teleport available and he didn't stop the Orianna, so maybe they're getting a little bit cocky. Maybe he just wasn't paying attention. You know, if that happens again and it's the Kindred shutdown, maybe going over to Orianna or Silas this time, that's going to be the gold value that they need to get back in this game.
Right, and I will say the macro play is definitely still in the favor here of Darkside. They're playing it very, very well. They pick up another Rift for themselves. I'm curious where they're going to kind of abuse and place that one from Adrenaline side of things. But either way, you know, little mistakes like that stack up, especially when we go back and say we did gush about how this comp works very well and how they can play around each other, perform the wombos, get the damage off on Ronin and Amethyst. Either way, they're able to take out the second outer turret, or the outer turret there in mid, and put down that rift in there as well.
Yeah, it should only be one charge. It's pretty easy to kill a Shelly here. Maybe picking up the full turret, but no, I'm just barely missing it by 100 health. It's going to fall here.
Hi, Padawan. Wait! No, they get Shockwave, but Padawan gets the response there. Breezy is dead. Good response to come through from Danny Phantom. So it's the 1-for-1, but mid lane still getting pushed. Good slow into Wizworld off the Solar Flare, but I think they just walk right out of that one.
Yeah, really trying to find fights whenever they can. I think they should try and slow down a little bit, take the lead that they've gotten back, and maybe play to their team comp strengths around this Drake.
Right. 10 seconds till it's up, so definitely a point of contention, especially since Breezy is not alive. They get a great root there on Danny Phantom with the triple charm, but the Lamb's Respite is keeping him alive. Good taunt for the triple from Pubbo Cox, deep in the backline, using those wins. Fantastic. Adrenaline goes to chase. Now Breezy has arrived, coming through there. Hero's Entrance going to get that knockup before he goes down. We do see the Zenith Blade in response as Breezy uses the hijack on that Encore to get the triple charm, but can't find any additional kills. It's going to be that 3-for-2. Yeah, just 3-for-2.
For a team fight that explosive, a 3-for-2 is going easy. That could have been a full-blown ace into an inhib turret if Breezy wasn't able to pick up that Encore. We see the hijack playing the way it needed to. Right. Let's pretend that that happened at the beginning of the fight instead of after Misfortune was dead. You know, even with the 6K gold lead that Darkside Academy has, you know, the tables could turn a lot faster. So it doesn't look like it's over just yet. That team fight looked pretty promising. Silas with this rocket belt, not going for Dark Harvester, went for the rocket belt. A very smart decision. you know, they're still hanging on for sure. They're not demoralized after a play like that.
Right. They might not have that carry pressure that they've been playing around, especially what we saw in game one, but they still do have the potential to match up and make things work out here. Notably, though, Breezy's not going to have that encore available for this next fight, and that's an easy dragon take for them, securing what will be on their way to Soul Point. Oh, Naro missing the stun there, still going to dash in, pushes back there. A great root on Danny Phantom. Meanwhile, Breezy forced to flash over the wall. Great unstoppable force to get the triple knock up there. Still can't quite find the kill as we do see Breezy go back in for a bit more damage. Goes in with the unstoppable force himself, but he's punished by Naro. Now there's the double charm encore to secure that one for the double kills there. Amethyst and Ronin, the only two left alive. You gotta ask, where's Ronin there?
Yeah, just holding the mid lane, shoving it out for 5 to 10 minions. Doesn't have teleport, isn't going to group up when that fight was 20, 30 seconds in the making. Baron just spawned, so you can't really afford to make that risk. And Misfortune didn't have bullet time available to her at that fight. Her and the Silas were, you know, coming into that fight with 20, 30, 40 seconds on their ultimate cooldowns. Silas tried to dash over the wall, but he hit it instead, held his flash for too long, and Malphite was able to get into position to flank your team.
Such a unstoppable force.
A plus B equals C. Team comp do what team comp's gonna do, and it's just paying out for him perfectly, and Baron is the punishment for doing that.
Right. I don't think you've got Breezy trying to come in here, but I think he just gives it up at this point. I don't think there's any way for him to really get on top of that. So first Baron of this double set, by the way. We didn't see one last game, I'm pretty sure.
No, I think there was just no, they did take one.
They did?
Yeah, Olaf after he got a
Olaf after he Olafed after last game.
After he Olafed, yeah. It was around 28 minutes or 25 minutes, I think.
Either way,
yeah, only 2 so far is pretty surprising for the pace of these matches.
All right, coach, it's like Voltron. You've got the legs or something, and you got maybe some of the arms, but that torso's missing. Yeah, you got a pile of limbs on the ground. How's that working out for you? All right, ReDefy need to come together, put their focus back. This is something they actually faltered with at the very beginning of their first game. We saw Ronin make the mistake on that Orianna, throwing that towards the dragon with the shockwave. This time around, she's not there for the major fight. You know, at this point, things are definitely stacked heavily against them. 10,000 gold difference. But all 5 of them combined could potentially find something off of even maybe just a mistake here from Darkside.
Yeah, you have to factor in Kindred's very high scaling against Seraphine being in what should have been the AD carry role, being a support. So if Kindred at any point stops scaling as hard...
That's a good solar flare with the bolt time combination. Lamb's Respite going to save him for just a bit longer. Danny Phantom comes in there, gets a little shockwave there, but the response on that encore charm is absolutely massive. Hero's entrance to get the knock up there as they punish it. Breezy takes out Pubblecox finally there. Amethyst stepping up, finds the kill on the Wizard, but not for Naro. Turns her attention and takes out the Amethyst himself. Now Adrenaline playing off this Kindred strengths, getting the double into that backline there. Ronin and Lemon Soda, the only 2 left alive here to go for the defense. They still have Baron, Bubby.
Yeah, that could be game for them. It depends on how Orianna and Leona are able to hold this off. You got 15 seconds on the timer. You got Baron on 2 waves pushing in. A lot of pressure. It's not the smartest play, so they are going to decide to back off, but I mean, 23 minutes in a game just off a regular turret defend, almost posing a game winning play is really terrifying, because that could mean the next one is game. Soul Point in a minute. You can't afford to make a mistake here, and you're playing from 12,000 gold behind. Out of all of the games tonight that we've seen, personally, anytime a team hit that 10k gold lead, they just won the game. They were able to just run through the lead and play it out perfectly. Kindred healing so much during this fight with her heal on her 3rd auto from her W, Ravenous Hunter and her runes. You know, it's just too hard to kill somebody like that when Silas can't assassinate her. Poppy's a health pack for her. Orianna certainly isn't doing anything with a Zhonya's and an Oblivion Orb right now. Leona's just a CC machine that can't kill her. All you have is Misfortune. Every time she pops, bullet time, Encore comes in, slaps her right in the face and ends it. Your damage falls short. Same way that Darkside Academy had that issue last game, it now comes out that ReDefy Unleashed is having this issue where their team comp doesn't have enough split damage.
Yeah, I definitely think much of that problem comes from the fact that they were punished so early and now punished again. Breezy straight into the fight. That bullet time's going to try to sustain, but the unstoppable force to just punish through. Anaro comes into the backline for the double there. He's got the Vanguard's edge to secure the kill on the Amethyst, and now Danny Phantom super deep in this backline, able to get that stun, not find the kill after Keeper's Verdict, and gonna go down as well into the hands of Adrenaline here. Lemon Star the only one left alive. Double flash in the response there. Lemon taken out for the double from Adrenaline, and an intense quick turn of events with a lack of vision being the catalyst here. Darkside Academy come through and take game 2.
Yeah, Poppy had blue trinket. Misfortune is still sitting on yellow. One of the problems with that is, if Orianna is not going to walk forward and throw her ball in a bush, which is one of her strengths, is, you never have to face check with an Orianna. You're not going to use your blue trinkets. You're this far behind in gold. All your turrets are pushed in. You can't walk around in your jungle like that. It's not yours.
That is absurd. I'm very impressed by Darkside's improvement coming into this game. We talked about them being aggressive, and one of their major points to fix was playing aggressive, but not taking a fault at every step. And they did this by not relying on like the individual aggression from Padawan and actually playing to the team. And while they had a great comp to, run into there, it just didn't work out for ReDefy.
Yeah, very difficult to play into an abstract comp like we see Seraphine AP carry in the bottom role. You might be looking at it going, it's really difficult to do anything here. I just can't see how we lose this lane, maybe being the thought process that Amethyst and Lemon Soda had. But then their own aggression turns against them when, okay, we're trying to run through a barrier heal Seraphine, Galio with massive peel, Seraphine with her own self peel, and then, Anaru, Adrenaline, and Padawan constantly coming bot, not getting Seraphine kills, but getting themselves kills for ReDefy's own aggression playing into what seemed like a weak lane. And that just steamrolled them over and over and over again.
Right. And so at this point, that lead just continued to build. And beautiful, by the way, the shutdown Breezy, they noted the weak point of themselves last game, and they made sure it would not be an issue this time around. I think that's incredible, by the way. Most teams don't take it to that level because, by the way, we saw literally Padawan go for a gank in the jungle, Anaro go for the solo gank in the jungle, as well as, of course, Adrenaline punishing across the board by taking camps and objectives time and time again. I mean, that is an incredible improvement.
Yeah, it was quite a reversal. Possibly, not even expected by themselves when they drafted this comp. This might have been a practice one. They might have known the strength of it ahead of time. But you would think with the momentum that ReDefy had from last game, it would have been at least a little bit closer.
Absolutely. I think we saw a bit of the weakness here, and it pulls back to my major question. What happens when Breezy's punched out? Now, granted, I will say Breezy, even if he was just a normal jungler, was just decked in a way that, any jungler would struggle to help their team out. But I'm curious, was that the nail in the coffin? Granted, Ronan did not look great into Anaro. He got punished out, but across the board, everyone else was doing relatively okay through that 10-minute mark. So that jungle mid combo, I wonder how much of an impact that is to, a ReDefy Unleashed. If you're a team who's about to take them on, do you just focus Breezy and Ronan?
Well, when you're in your interview, you say your star players are Breezy, Bay, and Ronan. You have amazing synergy, and you always draft a comp that plays hand in hand off each other. Everybody else just plays support into that. Misfortune is an aggressive 80 carry, massive amounts of damage. So Obviously that's not a support pick the same way that a Seraphine is. She had a 10,000 more damage than anyone else on her team, but Misfortune was not drafted to really be the star of the show this game. We were expecting Breezy Bay grabbing Malphite ult, jumping in, Ronan with the aftershock, Misfortune having everything handed to her, and then casting bullet time, and we never got that once this game. So when you say, what's the star players, what's the draft style, what's the play style, we're going to counter all three of those. I think you get yourself a solid win like this almost every single game you play.
Right. So we'll definitely have to look forward for ReDefy Unleash as they maybe change something up or strengthen their strengths and find a more secure lead consistently on Breezy and Ronin and playing around